What's up, my people? This is the Let's Talk Motorsports podcast, where we talk about all things motorsports. And today is a wonderful feature episode because I have this wonderful guest, family man, Altus Motorsports rider, and all-around athlete, Jaret Nassaney, with me. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
That's what's up. So all in all, man, I want to say happy belated birthday to your father. I saw that post yesterday.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. What is a fun fact about you?
Fun fact. So there's a couple, I guess you could say. I swam in high school, so I'm a two-time state champion. Unlike most riders, I have a full-time job. I'm an aircraft mechanic, so I unfortunately don't get to ride as much as I do, so that kind of sucks at times, but it is what it is. Got bills to pay.
Well, just gotta make the money somehow.
For sure.
Oh, man. Now, MotoAmerica, the series is actually over now, right? We're finishing up at Laguna. So, life outside of motorsports just revolves around just going to work, or what do you do?
Yeah, for sure. Most of it's going to work, but we try to ride in the off season, ride a lot of dirt bikes and stuff like that, and then actually in a couple weeks we're gonna go to California to try to get some winter testing in.
Okay. What is training like?
I usually ride a lot of trails on the dirt bike, and then I also do a lot of gym work. I work out 5 days a week. So.
That's insane. I knew that it was always a physical fight with riding motorcycles, but I never knew you had to be that dedicated to the gym. That's insane. Is it more like an endurance training, or is it physical strength?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, even then, riding the bike is a big mental factor as well on what we do. But I mean, overall, you just gotta be healthy. You gotta be ready to go pound out 20 laps straight. At max capacity.
I know that mental fight is probably something that's insane when you're feeling fatigue and all that, but you still have to push through every lap.
Yeah.
That's insane. A question I have been thinking ever since when I actually discovered you, basically, was through Superbike Paradise on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
But my number one question was, why number 59?
It's kind of weird. So I grew up in the motocross side before I came to road racing. And I was always kind of number 5. That was kind of my number. And then we bought a KX 85, and the number on it was 359 from the get-go because we bought it used. And I kind of stuck with that. And then that transitioned into my 390 Cup series. I was able to have that number, and in the CMRA I had that number. And then when I was able to get a 2-digit number, 59 was the number I wanted. So I mean, that's kind of what I picked.
Okay.
No actual real reason, I guess. It's just the number I liked, I guess.
I know a lot of people, they end up having these crazy stories that say, I had this many things, and so that's why I chose this number. All right. Your role model, who would you say really led you down this path?
I mean, my dad is for sure a big one. But in the motorsports industry, I mean, like I said, I came from the motocross side, so Ken Roxon and them, and then even once I transitioned in, watching Marquez and Rossi and all those guys, it's huge to see what they can do, and you want to be like them for sure.
I remember growing up, Justin Barcia was always my favorite.
Oh yeah, Bam.
Do you have a favorite rider, or are you your own favorite rider?
In which series, I guess I would have to say.
I would say break it down from MotoAmerica in Supersport, and then go to MotoGP, just regular MotoGP, not Moto2, Moto3.
In my class myself,
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite rider. I guess I mean you'd have to like myself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then MotoGP, I'm a big Marquez fan. It's crazy what that man can do, you know.
Most definitely. It sucks that he's out this season. I was hoping for some electrifying stuff. Your greatest moment on track. You know, a lot of riders, they have specific moments that they always think back to, that think that that's what made them who they are today. Do you have a great moment that you feel that truly defines who you are?
It's hard to say. I mean, just from winning local races and, you know, getting personal best finishes in MotoAmerica, I mean, they all stack up. It's kind of hard to pick one certain event.
Okay. This one I'm gonna be freestyling some questions because I got some written down, but there's some other stuff that might be rolling around my head. I'm not. Do you understand? You crash a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. There is sometimes, like, how do you deal with with the injuries? And I know sometimes they're minor, but other times they're serious. You posted up, you know, pictures of X-rays and stuff like that. How do you deal with that? You know, the ups and downs of racing and dealing with injuries.
I mean, unfortunately, it's part of the sport. As you know, like Marquez is out because of his arm. Roxon dealt with his arm. I mean, when we're trying to push the limits, unfortunately, things happen. And luckily, even though I've crashed quite a bit, and most of them are pretty big, I've been lucky to only have broken my wrist at Sonoma 2 years ago now.
Okay.
But, I mean, it comes back to that mental factor. I mean, we all want it so bad, so you can't let it get in the way. It's just another stepping stone, I guess you could say.
Okay. I don't know necessarily. I know dealing with injuries and all that stuff, it also brings up a financial toll, you know. So I'm going to guess you have great insurance.
Yeah, like I said, I'm an aircraft mechanic, so luckily I work a civil service. In my hometown, we have an Air Force base, so I work for the government, so I've pretty good insurance, which helps out.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right. Is Altus Motorsports basically a family-run organization?
Yeah.
It is?
Yes, my father and my mother own it, yes.
So was that how you actually started off with them, being able to basically sponsor you in these events?
Yeah, so my dad was always so the dealership's been open just as long as I've been alive. So it's been open for 22 years. We have two dealerships, one here in Altus, one in Lawton. And my dad has always been like in the motorcycle scene. So back in the day, he used to love sport bikes. And I mean, once I decided I was ready to go race MotoAmerica, he was like, he wanted to step up and back me with everything he could help with, you know. I mean, it's a hard sport to get sponsors in, unfortunately, right now, to help pay for everything. But I'm glad he's able to step up and help with the shop and everything like that to make it happen.
That's awesome. I know with me coming up, it was always drag racing in my family, so that was always where we gravitated towards. But if you have someone who's already in it and willing to help you out, I know that was a big motivation to continue in MotoAmerica, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. There is a question. The Altus Motorsports, your signature T-shirt. Do you still have some?
Like our pit shirts?
Yeah.
Or just like the blue shirt?
I think the pit ones.
I mean, yeah. I still got some.
Okay. I'm gonna contact you later because I want a couple of those. When you actually started, what were you thinking at the time? What was your mindset?
I'd like to say I was pretty open-minded, I guess. Like I said, I grew up in motocross, and I was never really like super fast on a dirt bike. I mean, I always really enjoyed riding. But then once we got to road racing, I decided I wanted to do that. I mean, everything started really clicking,
Mm-hmm.
I showed that I had the talent, I had the speed to be able to compete towards the front, and even that transition to every bike, I kind of put my leg over in the local series. So then when MotoAmerica started up with RC390, we're like, well, we're going to go for it. We'll see what happens.
Okay. And all the classes you've been in, is the RC90, is that the 390? Is that the best class you feel? What is your favorite class?
I was not a big fan of the 390.
Okay.
That bike wasn't very good, to be honest. I like the 600 class a lot, though.
Okay. Do you think you'll ever bump up to Superbike?
It's hard to say. I rode the 1000 last winter, and I just don't know we didn't really mess with settings a lot, so just riding around Barber and stuff like that, it's a lot of bike, that's for sure. I mean, I'll eventually probably bump up, but I feel like we still have some room to improve on the 600, so I think we're going to stick with the 600 for now.
Okay. And when the season starts back up, what are you doing to prepare necessarily? Because if you're working and, you're not getting much training done, how physical training you are, but on the actual bike, how do you actually prepare outside in the regular life?
Yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to be as physically fit and mentally ready to go as possible, and try to get a couple tests in this winter, and then just ride my dirt bike as much as possible, just to stay on two wheels and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, the gym is the only thing I really got.
Okay. I know guys do so many different disciplines. Do you think you'll be competing in not only MotoAmerica but also maybe AMA, the motocross series?
No, not me. Not me. I'm not that fast on a dirt bike.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can always train.
I'd like to maybe try like a GNCC race one day. That's cross country, but not outdoors or supercross or anything like that. That's not for me.
Okay. I was reading an article earlier on this year, and it was about basically your journey at the beginning of your MotoAmerica career, where you were suffering from, I have no idea what the actual term is, but it's ADEM.
Yeah.
How was everybody handling that situation? Was it chaos, or was everyone well aware and was able to, deal with everything that was going on at that time?
So it was pretty chaotic. We live in a small town, so when it all started to unravel, we went to our local hospital, and they had no idea what was going on. Mm-hmm. So I had to be transported up to the OU Medical Center in Oklahoma City, and luckily I had some really good doctors up there, and they were able to figure it out. And once we got it figured out, it was better, but then I ended up having a relapse a couple months later, which was way worse than the first times. And unfortunately, I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. But like I said, I still had those good doctors on my back, so obviously pulled through, and we're good to go. But I don't think I'll ever have a problem with it again. But yeah, I mean, I had some great doctors up in OU Medical. It was a pretty crazy experience for me and my family, for sure. But I'm happy that we had those people on our back.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad you could be here today. What is your ultimate goal in not only MotoAmerica but also life in general? You know, what are your aspirations at its full potential?
I mean, of course, always winning races, but in life, I mean, for sure, just being happy, being full of whatever I need to be happy, family-wise, money-wise, living-wise, all that kind of good stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, always push to get better, make more, you know? Never be comfortable is what I've always been learned, or always been told. So, you know.
Okay.
Just always keep striving.
That's definitely something that a lot of people need to go after. Always striving, and I know that I can't wait for next season with you, man. I can't wait. Do you ride like a daily or anything?
No, I used to have a KTM 1290 Duke.
Okay.
That thing was a monster, but I ended up selling it just because after I've seen everything happen with a lot of people I've known and riding on the streets and stuff, so people on their phones nowadays and stuff, it's not as safe, so I sold my daily.
Now you ride around.
Now my daily's a pickup.
Okay. Yeah, me, I still ride around on a motorcycle from time to time. Nothing too crazy. Because you are correct, it is getting a little unsafe. And I mean, you're from Oklahoma?
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea if it snows.
So actually, we just had an ice storm a couple weeks ago, but actual snow-wise, it's pretty rare. But like I said, we get ice more than anything in the winter.
Okay. I'm up north, so we just get tons of snow, and it's usually not the best riding conditions, so I can't ride all year. But any decisions that you wish you didn't make, or any decision that you wish you could change now?
No, not really. I'm a firm believer that kind of just everything happens for a reason, and if it was the wrong thing at the time, I mean, it was a learning experience just to make the right decisions later on.
Okay. And is there any advice that you would ever give to a novice? Anyone trying to start out?
Anyone trying to start out?
Yeah.
I mean, track time is going to be your number one friend. I mean, if you have the money, I would for sure try to get a riding coach. I mean, it's not always just about the lines. It's about your body position. It's about the techniques of braking and all those other good stuff. Because, I mean, even as professionals, we're still working on braking techniques. We're still working on body positions all the time. I mean, it's never... I mean, of course, once it comes down to the race, you're just doing the best you can do. But, I mean, to start out, I mean, for sure, try to get as much track time as you can. Like I said, if you got the money, try to go to a riding school or get a riding coach, something like that.
Okay. One last thing, you have a website on your Instagram leading to your YouTube. I want to ask why you stopped uploading.
Yeah, so there and then I was riding quite a bit, and then once the MotoAmerica series started, we're not allowed to. We had no rights to like using GoPros and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, I haven't been filming. I might try to get back into it this winter, though, riding dirt bikes and stuff like that, though.
Okay. I just want you to know, I will definitely be a subscriber. Yeah. I think that honest, that right there, like the training aspect and showcasing that. I mean, some guys, they have, whole documentary teams behind them and all that. But I don't know. I think from a perspective of someone who's doing it themselves, and someone honestly just like you, I feel like that's way more easy to connect to than having a whole professional setup behind you. So
Yeah, for sure.
So start it up, man. Put the helmet cam on and go ahead and showcase some skills.
Yep.
And lastly, how'd I do on my first interview?
You did really well. I have to say, you did really well.
I'm nervous as hell. I still have to develop, questions and all that stuff to actually continue to ask. So when I develop, I will be basically contacting you again to actually come on and talk about stuff. This time it's gonna be way more in depth. It's gonna be way more in depth, and I'm sure we're gonna be able to have a very long conversation if you have the time.
Sounds good.
All right, awesome. Lastly, you got anything you want to talk about?
Anything I want to talk about?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, just trying to work. MotoAmerica is always trying to build that fan base, and I'm trying to build my fan base personally. So, hit me up on my social medias, on my Instagram, my Facebooks, and kind of stuff like that. I mean, the more viewers we can get, the better it is. The more sponsors we can get and stuff like that. So, it's not only helping out the organization, it's helping out us as well. So.
Okay. I know most definitely. I think you had posted something, and then right after that, I was like, he damn right, it don't cost me nothing. I should definitely. So if anybody watching or listening, if you want to support, definitely repost all their stuff, man. Just put out as much shit as you can to support these guys. I'm definitely going to be doing it, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I thank you for coming in. I thank you for actually accepting the invitation. And this was a learning experience for me, and hopefully some exposure for you. Yeah.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, but man, thank you so much. I'm gonna contact you later about the shirts.
All right, sounds good.
All right, peace.
Peace out.
And that was Jaret Nassaney, a wonderful guy. Definitely a wonderful guy. This was, like I said, my first ever interview, and I'm actually glad that he was definitely willing to come onto the show. And I will progress and develop my skills in order to bring him back onto the show and actually showcase some good interview skills. And, step away from me saying and all that stuff and everything like that, and actually have a wonderful conversation. But it was great having him on the show. Thank you so much, Jaret. It's been amazing. If you want to check him out, like he said, you could follow him on his social medias. His Instagram is Jaret_59. I will input all that stuff. Links will be in the description of the video version and all that. So head on down to the description box down below and follow Jaret on Instagram. Also, if you want to support any other MotoAmerica riders or anything like that, head on over to the MotoAmerica page and follow, like, whatever. But definitely show Jaret some love. This is my first ever interview. He came on here, no questions really asked. He just said, oh yeah, for sure. Awesome. I was like, you know what? I could tell this guy is amazing. So thank you so much, Jaret. It's been a pleasure. You will be back on for another episode if you're willing to accept the invitation. That's it for me. That's it for the show. Have a wonderful day. Peace. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to check out any more of my content, head down to the description box down below. And remember, you only have one life. Go out there and enjoy it.